Hi, I'm Joni Patry, and welcome to my YouTube channel. Well, today I want to talk about somebody that's in the news. It's a very famous actor who has not been well for a long time. And the main reason why I'm doing this video on Bruce Willis is because I take recommendations from people on my Patreon. They get to tell me who and what they want me to do YouTubes on. So I'm listening to them now, and one of my patrons, or patriots from my Patreon, that is always so loyal and always there to make recommendations is Sing Tao. So his recommendation was he wanted me to do a YouTube video on Bruce Willis. So before I go further, I got to remind everyone to sign up for my free newsletter. Go to galacticcenter.org and you will get my predictions every week delivered to your email. And remember, while you're there, check out my Patreon page, because you can have the advantage to tell me what you want me to do these videos on. And don't forget my Galactic Planner. We have included so many new features, you'll be amazed. You've got to sign up and try it. Go to galacticplanner.com, because it will take your chart and tell you your predictions every day. That's amazing. And if you want to learn Vedic astrology, I have the best school out there. It's all online, self-paced. You can join anytime. Go to universityofvedicastrology.com. So now let's get going and look at Bruce Willis' chart. And the one thing that I do know about him is that he's been suffering from Alzheimer's for a long time. And they said he is not doing very well right now. But let's see what we can see through looking at his horoscope. So I'm going to put up the chart of Bruce Willis. And looking at this chart, he has a Venus-Moon conjunction, which is very, very nice, in his 5th house of the creative talents. This guy's been an amazing actor throughout his life, very, very successful. And I gotta say with this, that anyone that has Venus in the 5th house has to express themselves, very creative, and especially to have the moon there as well. So this is someone that is artistic, creative, and he funnels his art through his acting. He hasn't been very active though lately, I think because he's been ill for quite some time. Now when we look over to his ascendant, which is in Virgo, things have been very aggravated probably for him for quite some time, because the eclipses were falling in Pisces, Virgo over the course of the past year. So this is pretty much accentuated great difficulties for him. But notice where his sun is. This is the life force. The sun really does represent who we are in terms of our spirit. And he has his sun and Pisces. But here's what's really, really difficult for Bruce. The fact that Saturn and Neptune have been conjuncting each other around 5 to 7 degrees of Pisces represents he's been dealing with not only Saturn conjuncting his sun, but Neptune. This is really tough. And let me tell you something. If any of you have ever experienced Saturn transiting over your sun, let me tell you, it takes the wind out of your sails. You have no life force. You're exhausted. You're tired. Even if you're not sick, you feel no life force or energy. You're drained. This is Saturn on the sun. But Neptune adds to it. And Neptune can represent illness. So Neptune can also represent confusion. And when you're looking at this chart, I see someone who is very confused. Their life force is depleted, and their energy, their physical body, which is the sun, is really down. And this is all what he is going through right now, currently. And not to mention, going back to his Virgo ascendant, we have that Neptune and Saturn opposing his ascendant degree at 4 degrees of Virgo. Saturn is going to transit back through 4 degrees 2 more times. And that will be coming up here in October through January, February, that Saturn's going to be transiting back and forth between that 5 and 4 degree mark of Pisces. So it's conjunct the sun opposing his ascendant. Both of these are indicators of your physical constitution. Yes, the ascendant is as well. So I can see what's going on and why he is so exhausted, tired, and not well. And the other thing is that now we have the eclipses falling in his 12th house. The eclipse coming up in next February will be in his 12th house. And Rahu in Aquarius is in his 6th house. That deals with his health. So the nodal axis is going across the houses that deal with health and healing. And the other aspect is that Mars, throughout this month of August, is going to be in Virgo, accentuating in a difficult way his sun and his ascendant while it's in Virgo. And it will be in Virgo basically throughout the month of August and part of September. And this is really tough. He is struggling to be here. And I don't know how long he will be here with Saturn crossing over the sun, back and forth till next February. So this is going to be the hardest time for him physically to overcome. Now, looking over at his Jupiter and his K2, which are in Gemini, one thing I do see is he has a Jupiter return. Jupiter in the sky right now is in Gemini. So it's returned. And you know, with his natal Jupiter being in the 10th house, he is being returned to being talked about again. And that's probably because of his sickness. But you know, this could bring him to light if something does happen to him. But overall, the Mars, the Saturn, they're not in good places for him. And Jupiter will bring him to the attention of the public while it returns to its natal position in his 10th house. And you know, just looking over his chart, Bruce had a really difficult, looking at his chart, and I didn't even look at the Wikipedia to know this, but I can tell from his chart, he had a very difficult upbringing because Saturn is in the 2nd house. The 2nd house is our childhood experiences. And Saturn plus Neptune are there. There were a lot of secrets, a lot of problems, things that weren't discussed or talked about. He overcame major obstacles with this chart. And not only that, with Mars being in his 8th house, you got to know that that is deep and profound. You know, it can make him actually pretty scientific minded, deep thinker, researcher, but still, it is not an easy position to have Mars ever in the 8th house, and it does represent major problems and difficulties with siblings, because that's what Mars rules. And with Virgo rising, Mars rules the 3rd house of siblings. So this was a major issue, not to mention that Saturn aspects his Mars by opposition. This is the troubles he's had growing up with possibly his siblings. They were really, really difficult, probably jealousies with siblings growing up as a kid. But you know, he does have the Jupiter K2 in his 10th house, and that represents great success in unusual ways. So his acting was really natural, and for Venus Moon to be in the 5th house of creativity and acting, he was a natural at it, and very, very, very good at his talents and his gifts. But one last thing, with Rahu in the 4th house, he had some major issues with family and with his parents, his mother. A lot, as I said, had to be overcome by looking at his chart. But just looking at his chart today, it makes me kind of sad to see how his sun is being aspected by Neptune, Saturn, and Mars all at the same time right now. And that is what is bringing up issues around his health and problems and his mind. And actually, if you look at Mercury ruling the mind, his Mercury is in Aquarius in the nakshatra Shatabishak, which can deal with hard to cure diseases, particularly dealing with the mind. And that is where Rahu is approaching his Mercury. So there is a lot going on for Bruce Willis, and I wish him health and healing, but it looks like it's going to be a really hard road for him to get through between now and the end of the year. So blessings to Bruce Willis and all the great movies and acting and entertainment that he has provided all of us out there through his movies and his skills and performances. He was a true talent and is a true talent, and may blessings and healing help him get through this time. All right, so with that, I think I'll close. If you would like more information on me, you can always go to my website. Go to galacticcenter.org. Thank you.